Hi, I'm Tim Parry from Multichannel Merchant. I'm with Joe Devine, Solutions Consultant with Listrak, and we're talking a little bit about some email marketing trends that you should be thinking about as we're in 2013. Joe, triggered email messaging seems to be a hot topic, but the ones that seem to stand out are for order confirmations, abandoned cart messages, shipment notifications. Where are merchants missing the mark with triggered emails, and what should we be thinking about with triggered messages and why?
Yeah, great question. So a lot of that we kind of call transactional messaging. I think you often find merchants who are okay with the status quo of like a plain text message. But I think there's a lot of opportunity to really start a more engaging conversation at that point in time. I mean, here you are having the most kind of engaging experience that you're ever going to have with somebody when they're buying from you. And all they get is, thanks for your purchase, if you're lucky, and some plain text content about what you bought and where it's being shipped to. I think branding, building some trust would be really, it would add a lot of value to that process, and I think a lot of people miss that.
Like a lot of people at the show, you're going outside in the front here and you see everybody checking out their email on their iPhones or their iPads and everything. I've been checking in between too, and there's like some messages that I just can't read the messages and everything. Do you think there's a lot of attendees that are looking at their own company's emails and saying like, oh, I wish this was better readable on a mobile device?
They have to be. I mean, you know the status of those messages, and if they're looking at the stats, they know that 30, 40, even half of their audience are engaging via mobile. So they have to look at that creative and say, you know what, this really isn't that usable on this device, and I need to make some changes.
What are some of the steps anyone who's sending emails need to take to make sure that the mobile user can read what's in the inbox?
Great follow-up questions, like, this is your job or something. So I look at creative design in mobile from three different aspects. I think there's kind of passive mechanisms to make sure your creative displays correctly. There's kind of an active way to maybe differentiate between those who are typically engaging via desktop and those who are engaging via mobile. And then there's responsive design. So responsive design is changing based on the platform that you're engaging in. So some of the passive stuff might be making sure that, your calls to action fit into that kind of 40 by 40 pixel, size. And then active, again, you're splitting. So you're giving one piece of creative to mobile folks, one piece of creative to desktop. And then responsive, you're being able to, do things like remove banners, change imagery, collapse columns automatically.
I've been talking with a few people here about how the batch and blast mentality of sending everything to everybody may not really be dead. Is this something you guys are seeing? Even though people are saying they're fine-tuning their messages and they're sending more frequent messages but to fewer people, do you think batch and blast is really dead?
No, batch and blast isn't dead, and it's not going to die. I mean, across all merchants that I'm typically working with, batch and blast from a revenue perspective still represents 60%, 70% of total email revenue. Now, segmentation, of course, adds value to batch and blast, but there's certain behaviors, certain events that really are relevant to everybody. I mean, holidays are a great example. We just had Valentine's Day. Whether your household income is X or Y, or whether, your typical engagement metric is, you're opening at 6 p.m. versus, 6 a.m., Valentine's Day resonates. So being able to blast that to everyone still makes sense.
Great. Joe, thank you very much for your time today. Enjoy the rest of ETL West.
Thanks.